Hi there, everyone. It's Wednesday, January 17th, 2024. Most of us are in turtlenecks and fleece as cold waves across our country. Anyway, today we're going to bring a little exotic flair into our Facebook Live with my Pagoda earrings. These are all SuperDuos with a little bit of seed beads. And what great stash busters, as you probably all are aware, SuperDuos have to be the top of the line 2-hole beads that are available to us. And wow, talk about a myriad of colors and ideas. So I did a bunch in different colors because they are so fast and easy to make that when I decided to do these as a Facebook Live, I just kept going and going. So they do make up very fast and very easy. Some bead stitching experience is good to have, working with a needle and thread and all that. But why don't we just get started right now? Take this away. So for this project, you need 2 colors of SuperDuos. How about if I do this? I'm going to put a finished one right here so you can follow. So you're going to need 2 colors of SuperDuos, one that forms the inside of the starburst shape and one that forms the peaks that come out. And then mostly size 11s and one size 8, which is used as a foundation for where the ear wire closed jump ring attaches. You can see in this earring that size 8 is a black, and the rest of my seed beads are size 11. So you'll need 2 colors of SuperDuos, a pinch of size 11s, 1 for each earring for a pair of earrings size 8, 2 closed, that means they're soldered and there's no way for the string to pull out, jump rings, these are 4mm, and then of course a pair of ear wires, or you can use this as a pendant and use an open jump ring to attach it to a cord or a ribbon or a chain of your choice. So here we go. I already have my needle strung and I'm working with a Sunfire, very strong, no stretch. And the first thing we're going to do is make sure that all our SuperDuos have open holes. Before you stitch with any 2-hole beads, please make sure that you check to make sure that the holes are open and the beads are well formed, because mutations happen. And the last thing you want to do is get a whole piece sewn together and then have to go back through that second hole and find that it's clogged. Okay, so on about a 1-yard piece of thread, we're going to string 10, I'll call them color B. They're my inside colors. All right, and I'm going to use the turquoise. These are just opaque turquoise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And you're going to pull them all the way down your thread, leaving just enough of a tail, like maybe 4 inches, to string on a needle and weave in later. But now I'm holding them because I'm going to lay them down and I'm going to sew through them again. Let's get these up here into view. So when I sew through beads again, my trick is to lay down this length of beads and hold my thread and then go back through, and I can see how I'm able to get this through the holes and restring them. But I work down on my mat for this so I can make sure that I am not skipping any beads, and I'm going back through the same hole that the thread is running through in a circle so that it's going to look like this. And I'm going to pull this to shorten my tail. I don't need to waste that much thread. I only need enough to weave in at the end. And now I'm going to tie a little square knot with my tail and the working thread. Make sure I don't get beads caught, so my thread is knotted in between 2 of the SuperDuos, like that. Now I'm not going to spend time doing this, but you would thread the tail thread on a needle and weave it around the circle a couple of times. It'll stay in there if you do it maybe 2 or 3 times, and trim it or use your thread zapper. All right, now you never want to start your work from where the thread is coming from the knot right there. That can put undue tension and even abrade the thread that's in there. So I'm going to sew through a couple SuperDuos, same stitch tall, just 2 of them, like that. Continuing around the circle in the same direction, but keeping the thread away from the knot. Now I'm going to reverse direction. I've been sewing like this. Now I'm going to reverse direction and sew through the outer hole of this SuperDuo. Now I'm going to string my other color SuperDuos in between all these SuperDuos. And I've already looked through and inspected my bead holes. So the SuperDuos are going to fit like that. And I'm going to work all the way around, adding a SuperDuo in between each of the first round SuperDuos. So for me, it worked out using 10. It's a nice symmetrical number, and it also makes a nice large wheel without getting too floppy. So that was my decision to use 10 instead of 8 or 12 to make these little earrings. So I'm going to finish sewing these all around, making that little wheel. Those of us that work with SuperDuos, we have used this as kind of a foundation, haven't we? A base model for a lot to start to be able to build off of and work in other beads. All right, now I'm just going to flip this over so I can show you. My last SuperDuo, I'm going to go through the blue bead from the first ring, and I'm going to exit through. This is called a step up. I'm exiting through the first round and the latest round that I just did through the same stitch hole. And now I'm going to reverse direction again. Remember, I was going this way. I'm going to reverse direction and come through the outer hole of the SuperDuo I just sewed through. Okay, this is now at the top of my earring. So here's where I am, and you can see that there's a different color SuperDuo that gets added here. So we're going to do that. I know that there's a link already online for the free tutorial. Remember that I Love Beads patterns are always free to everyone all the time, and all of our Facebook Lives are saved to our YouTube channel. So you can go back to that within the next 48 hours. It'll be posted. Okay, so here we are. We did the inner wheel, we did the outer wheel, and we reversed direction. Now I'm going to pick up one of the turquoise. I just like that look, to pick that up. And I'm going to add that between the top ones, like that. Now we're going to start doing the little peak, the namesake peak for it, Pagoda. So I'm going to pick up a size 11. Whoops, there we go. I'm going to pick up a size 11. I'll turn this around to be like the illustrations. A size 11, a SuperDuo. I'm using the silver, that's sort of my border. Okay, and pull this down. Size 11, a SuperDuo, a size 11. And I'm going to go back through. I reverse direction, came out here through the SuperDuo at the peak there. So I have 11, a silver SuperDuo, and 11, and I'm going through. Now I'm going to do the same on the other side. Pick up a size 11, a silver SuperDuo, there you are, and an 11. And I'm going to go back in the SuperDuo, and I'm going to come all the way back so that I'm coming out that SuperDuo there. That was the second one I added. Okay, so I'm going back in through these two SuperDuos. So we have that symmetry there. I'll put that down. All right, now I'm going to come through and come all the way back out to this 11. So I came out the turquoise, I'm going out the silver, and I'll come up through the 11 and the silver and the 11. Like that. And then through the 11, the top of the Super Duo, and that second 11. Get in there. I flip my work back and forth, and I try not to do that when I'm teaching because it can be confusing, but you'll do that when you work. You want to make sure to make it convenient for yourself. All right, and in this case, there's no top, back, or front for these. Okay, now I'm ready to add this little section here and one closed jump ring. So the point of the pagoda roof there. I'm going to pick up 2 11s. The 8, I chose a pearly color for this. So I have 2 11s and an 8 and a closed jump ring. Now be careful, you don't want the jump ring to slide down over your beads. You're going to bring them all down, and now you're going to go back through the 8, just the 8, and it's going to hold that jump ring on like that. So that's half of your little peaked roof. 2 more 11s in through the 11 on the other side so that you have that symmetry. That's it, folks. Now you just weave this in to secure it. What I do, I don't like to have only one pass of thread through my real point of tension, even though these are so light. Where it's going to hang from the ear wire. I'm going to follow my thread path that I just did all the way around again. And through the jump ring, here we go, all the way around. You know, anybody that does Facebook Lives, do you put hand lotion on before you do this? Of course you do. And then you have to wipe it all off your hands because the needle's too slippery. All right, so I'm just going all the way around again. And remember, when you come through the main part of the beadwork and it's time to go through here, make sure to go through the seed beads in the same direction that you did. Okay, so I'm getting tangled. And you're going to come up through the 8, 2 11s in the 8. So you're just repeating this. You're going to go through the closed jump ring. Now I came up this side. I'm going to flip it over to give myself access to the other side. Go back through the 8. Make sure it's through the ring or it'll just pull through. Back through the 8 and the other 11s and into the beadwork. You can make a half hitch in a discrete spot. I usually like to do it near sort of a bigger bead. So I'm going to make, and it's just a half hitch around the thread that's coming from between the 11 and the SuperDuo. I'm going to pull my thread in till it's a little loop. And make that little half hitch so it's in there, and then I'm just going to weave the end in. Like I said, like this is a tension point, but there's not a lot of tension or weight on it, so I'm only going to sew through a couple beads, and then I bring my thread zap in so I can get a nice close trim. I also will use my desk table to help push a needle through, save some stress on my hands. There's another tip. All right. There's that. Here's my thread zap, and I'm going to bring that in right close by, and there you go. And I would thread this on a needle and weave it in, but for today I'm just going to do this again. Pick it up nice and close. Boom. Da-da-da, there's one already done. So that is the pagoda earring. Thank you so much for joining us. This was a fast Facebook Live. Remember, you can find more fun and games from Team Leslie. My partner in crime, Leslie Pope, is online with us, and she's the one that's been managing the chat and posting things and making sure that I'm staying on screen. So you can see we have our own Instagram page, and of course, I Love Beads, which is BEADSMITH on the BEADSMITH Facebook page, main website. You can go to the I Love Beads library. The beads are all divided by type, so if you go to SuperDuo, you will find the tutorial with all its illustrations. Very simple, showing what I just did. There's some variety for the Pagoda earrings. All right, everybody stay warm. Happy January. We are heading to Tucson for the big bead shows next week, and I believe Wednesday the 31st, we're going to try to do another Facebook Live from Tucson. So I don't expect to be wearing turtlenecks there, but you never know. Thank you again so much. Leslie Rogowski with Leslie Pope for the BEADSMITH, saying, we love you and we love beads. Remember, you can find all of these beads and other quality BEADSMITH beads, tools, and supplies at your favorite bead reseller. Bye.